Well, the gentleman in our next story you may recognize from a piece we did earlier about this year's drought. That's because when it comes to wheat, few in the state know more or care more about that industry than Paul Jackson, which is why he was inducted into the Governor's Ag Hall of Fame. I visited with him on his farm about the changing world we live in and how it's affected farmers like him.
Well, I've been farming all my life, and I'm 71 years old. So, been farming when I was a child. We farmed with horses and mules, and one of the interesting things back in that day, when I was a young boy, I used to punch wires for a stationary hay baler. My dad run a custom hay baling crew. Took 14 men to do that, and we would be fortunate if we got 300 or 400 bales a day baled. And of course now you can take a little square baler or a big baler and bale 100 times more than that, you know, in one day. See, so it's a lot of change in that, and it's due mainly to the machinery, you know, that part of it is. We have an example here. This is the tractor notion I started with in 1952, and it cost $1,200. And then this tractor over here, it was bought in '78, and it was $17,000. And this tractor over here is a '95 model, and it was $130,000. So that's how the prices. Even if you bought this size of tractor now, you're talking about $35,000 or $40,000. So everything's gone up about 20 times over as far as machinery and equipment cost. We have 4 children, and they all grew up being in 4-H and FFA and home economics, and Dosha's been a strong supporter of home economics, and they used to call them home demonstration clubs, but they're family community educators now, and so it's a good place to raise children, you know.
See, what I see with my husband is he likes farming. He wouldn't be happy doing anything else. We most generally say that we're in a partnership. We're farmers. I say when I fill anything out that I'm a farmer rancher, and I am with my husband, and that's the way that you've got to look at it.
Technology, I guess, is probably the biggest change that we've seen in the years ago when we first started in the seed business. This corner here, we had it planted to different varieties of wheat that we'd get from the different universities like Kansas and Oklahoma State and Texas, and we'd have 14 or 15 different varieties that we'd evaluate, and there's been a tremendous change in that as far as the yield has been increasing. You know, they're breeding for better yield, better disease resistance, and so forth. So there's a big change there. Well, I'm a big believer in research and technology also. I'm a very strong supporter of research. I've been on the Oklahoma Wheat Research Foundation board for 23 or 4 years now, and of course I'm on the Oklahoma Wheat Commission, and I'm very strong. I think that's the key to feeding the world. Is if we got to have the new technology, we got to have the research to see what works and so forth.